program. Johannes, great to have you. Thanks for
you.
talking about user experience in HANA. And with that, I'll just pass it over to you.
Thank you, Thomas. Awesome. Great to be here. What a nice hall. What a nice audience. Thank you for having me. So I'm Johannes. I'm the UX lead for the HANA tools. And yeah, I brought some UX topics for you to have a look at. And well, I mean, I know there are certain expectations with UX talks. So certainly you expect new mock-ups, something beautiful, right? Design always deals with beauty, beautiful user interfaces, and maybe also an outlook into the future. Sorry. So no new mock-ups, nothing beautiful, and yeah, okay, future we will see. Maybe I have something for you later. What I would like to do now that I have such a lovely big audience, I would first reflect a little bit about an internet phenomenon which is called pictures of people taking pictures. Have you noticed this? Who is on LinkedIn here? This makes my plan possible. This is cool. Okay, good. So, and have you noticed that usually if somebody is on stage and has a big audience, and they turn and then they take a picture of they make a picture of themselves, a selfie, right? And then with the audience in the back. This is usually done. Here you can see a recent one from a SAP design event, which is, I think, incorporating itself into the history of the pictures of people taking pictures, an internet meme actually. So we will not do that one as well. So no future, no beauty, no new designs, no stage selfies, but something else. May I ask you to ponder this little question here? Actually, it's a big question. So if you could make a wish for one HANA tooling feature, what would that be? Certainly you all are HANA tooling users and users. So who has used HANA Studio recently? Okay. Who has used the Database Explorer recently? Aha, better. Good. And Visual Studio Code? Okay, and HANA Cloud Central? Okay, good. Certainly plenty to wish for, isn't it? Good. Everybody has something on his or her mind. Yeah, if you could make a wish for one HANA tooling feature, what would that be? Everybody knows something. Could be a bug, could be a new feature. Yeah. All right, wonderful. This talk is working like a charm. This works. This is good. Okay. Let me explain this little hint here. SAP World Record. I would like to achieve something today. So maybe some of you have noticed this already. HANA TechCon is very prominently featured in LinkedIn. This is why I was asking if you have LinkedIn on your mobile phones. We were asking for feedback before the event. I would like to express my sincerest gratitude here to Christoph and to Stefan, who were already as free as to provide feedback on this public channel. Now you know what is coming next, isn't it? Please get, no, not yet. So you are about to scan this QR code. You'll be taken to LinkedIn. Yeah, and you can do as Christoph and Stefan have been doing. Provide feedback, which will be addressed by the HANA tooling team, not only some when, but maybe today. So because we have the UI Huddle Hackathon on the first floor, you can come there, give us feedback, provide your insights to the tool, tell us which bugs bug you the most, or which features you actually also would like to have. We will take a note and listen. And actually we have developers and technical experts on site to identify the ones which can be fixed today. And then maybe in the evening, we have hopefully many problem solved, your problems. So I was speaking about stage pictures. Yeah, I will not take a selfie, but I will take a picture of people taking pictures. And that is you, right? Good. And I will take a picture of you taking pictures, not for the sake of it, but to provide feedback to the HANA tools. Are you ready? Okay, at least some people are laughing. This is good. This is good. I need a wide angle. 1 second. Wide angle. Big audience hall. Get your mobile phones out. Everybody, please. Everybody who's on LinkedIn who has pondered the question, if you could make a wish for one HANA tooling feature, what would that be? What would that be? Take a picture now. You're taken to LinkedIn and will be addressed. Cool. Okay, that's quite a big audience. So maybe we make the SAP record for providing feedback to tools, maybe the BTP even, or tools in general, at one particular moment. Yeah, I don't know, certainly 50 feedback items will be addressed or showing up in LinkedIn soon. I hope the QR code works for you. If not, then we would have a problem. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you have been actually doing my work. I'm a UX designer. So what can I do for you now? I was thinking, you see the HANA tools usually as a result of our work, right? So you're using them and you don't see the way, the progress, our exploration, our elaboration, our conversations with development, which actually lead to the result you see. So I thought, as a small thank you, I could give you this insight. Yeah, you give me the feedback, we address the feedback, and as something I give you back is insights into our processes. And what you hopefully will conclude from this insight into these processes is we need you. We need the feedback from the community. This is why I'm here, right? So I'm really here to listen, to hear what you say, how we can do things better, and which features we actually need and also should implement next. You see, it's quite some interesting things here. Let's start. Yeah, involving you was actually part of the UX work from the start. What do I mean by this? Here you can see an artifact. You will see plenty of artifacts. Don't start to read all the content in there. They are sometimes meant as illustrative slides to make one of my points, but actually these are originals. Yeah, so here you can see a slide from 2010, which is a summary from a HANA Studio user research event. Yeah, here topic details, SAP in-memory computing studio, system monitoring and administration. You see, we were talking to end users, yeah, similar like I do now. But I also can say here there are key takeaways, right? Top 3 positives, top 3 negatives. And maybe the studio is still used today because of such feedback sessions, right? There we made sure that the studio is actually doing what you expect it to do. Yeah. There's more. So here's one for administration and problem analysis and SAP HANA Studio administration console perspective. Again, top 3 positives, top 3 negatives, key takeaways, participant quote. This is an original SAP artifact, I think this time from 2010 or 2012. Yeah, where we were actually looking at Studio and refining it. Interesting, isn't it? Old artifact. And I mean, back in the days, yeah, we UX designers were traveling. Not a lot, but at least some designers were traveling then to Berlin, like in this case, right, to actually meet you on site. As I will show and explain a little bit later, these days we have a multitude of feedback possibilities. So we actually don't need to fly around the world to Berlin, Barcelona, do usability testing. Sure, we do it, but a lot of feedback also somewhat comes in automatically by you using the product. Good. This is the research done for the transition from HANA Studio to the HANA Cockpit. These are the slides from the person actually leading the research back then. Yeah, here it lists 8 external customers, 44 sessions from all over the world. Yeah, this work stream or this design thinking exercise actually was leading the way to the HANA Studio, HANA Cockpit. Here you see more design thinking exercises. Yeah, I recognize one of my colleagues in my team on this picture, still with us. Yeah, but also back then in 2013, yeah, shaping the way to actually transition to the cockpit. Presentation. At the end of the workshop, 1-hour walkthrough presentation for the teams and managers. So there we identified the key workflows which you, yeah, end users take in HANA Studio, and we made these as simple web-based UIs in the cockpit. This is the origin of this transition point. And then at the end, you have something like this, yeah, like one of the first mock-ups for the cockpit. I was asking who was using the cockpit. Can I ask you again? Does this look familiar? Okay, cool. You see, we have plenty of possibilities and plans, right? You see a heat map here, a lot of charting, a lot of insights up front. We always try to make the user flows as short as possible and as convenient as possible. This is how we start, right? We start with design thinking, and then actually we turn things into mockups, and then it's implemented and reached, yeah, and reaching you guys. You also can interrupt me if you have questions in between. Anytime. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. So we are still in the cockpit age, yeah, 2017. Here's one thing. We once had Grafana-like dashboards planned for the HANA Cockpit. Certainly some of you know the performance monitor, yeah, which somehow does fulfill the purpose of a monitoring dashboard, but it's not as flexible as a dashboard. But we actually had that planned, and it looked like this. So here you can see the cockpit in all its glory. Yeah, mock-up also again from back in the days, original document. Ignore the speech bubbles here. This is then something to communicate amongst the designers. And the plan was to tie that in here, right? On top, you see the tiles you certainly know, where you have your databases listed. And then there was a feature which we prototypically had named X-ray. And this actually was capable of producing dashboards, monitoring dashboards. You could have several of these. So this is the consecutive screen. You would have clicked one of these tiles. You see the screen here. And then you see this, yeah, Blockly, some, I don't know, Lego-like representation. You could plug things together. You could write SQL in there. You would define a chart type. Yeah, and once you had done that, it would produce such a dashboard. So the plan was to provide more flexibility for end users in the cockpit. And yeah, this is still needed today. So I will touch on this a little bit later. You also could define alerts with this Blockly technology, looking like this. All original documents. So yeah, we are quite a creative team. Did you know that we actually once experimented with VR back in the days? So I think 2017 was a very creative year. This is when I was working in Korea with the development team there. We were very creative. So we actually had also explored possibilities for database monitoring with, I think, Oculus Rifts back then. Here just some original document of idea sketches, right, of the analysis flow, like landscape view first, and then we tried like picking databases with some VR stick, right, and then you would select that and you would see the details in there. Yeah, well, we understood that maybe this was ahead of its time. Then we tried with AR, right? So we had some how's it called again, Arduino-based device planned, which was complementing monitoring. Yeah, also maybe not so much of a good idea. Or you tell me otherwise in conversations later. I'm here to listen, but our assumption was okay. It's a nice idea. What we did then, also I think quite early, we were looking into another interesting not new, but for us, new technology in this context, machine learning. And this is the video we made for, I think, Sapphire back then. So this is Bill, database administrator. He wants to monitor his system, predict the future, receive suggestions, and take immediate action. Isn't this what we all want all the time? So now Bill is monitoring his ERP system. Overall, the KPIs look okay in the Performance Monitor app. There's a prediction area, which we thought would be a good idea. But then, oh my God, something unpredictable happens. The KPIs go up. Yeah, big problem. In the next 10 minutes, right, the CPU consumption will be very high. We had this idea of an abnormality score. So something has to be done. Our poor user here now turns to Workload Analyzer to get it solved. And he identifies a problematic SQL statement, I think. Yes, there it is, marked red, really problematic. You can have a look. Yeah, this is what it is. Let's stop that session and solve the problem. What do you expect to happen? Storytelling wise, it's a very simple story. Of course, the problem is solved, yeah, by the interaction here. We know that it's sometimes not that simple, but I mean, I'm showcasing UX work, right, where storytelling plays an important role, and I think this is one of the most visual things we have produced over the years, so I definitely wanted to show you that. So let's have a look at Bill again once more. Yay, he solved a critical performance issue. He monitored his system, predicted the future, received suggestions, and took immediate action. Isn't that cool? Don't we all want to do that? Yeah. This is heartwarming. After so many years, I still get a bit of applause for that. That's lovely. Thank you, guys. Cool. Yeah, did you actually know that we once had an iOS app planned for monitoring? So this looks like this. Yeah, again, original document. We looked at the persona, right, and yeah, definition, right, of the scope of what this app actually was supposed to do. And this is how it looked. Yeah, it had, of course had an alert focus. So you could look at alerts, you could relay alerts to your team. Yeah. And of course, everything was tied in to the HANA Cockpit quite well. Again, original mock-up from back in the days. Yeah, this is how it looked. We even thought about having some tiny little monitoring preview in there, but of course the assumption was that you just manage your alerts, right, and communicate over these alerts with your team, and then actually solve the problem as we have just seen so simply by Bill in the HANA Studio itself. Yep, nice. Still like it. Okay. I mean, this is the on-premise time for us, right? Now let's transition to the cloud and speak a little bit about BTP Cockpit here. The UX work started with an idea to integrate into BTP Cockpit. I mean, the people who are already in their cloud transformation, who already use HANA Cloud, of course, yeah, I've seen the hands. You use HANA Cloud Central, then you also use the BTP Cockpit. There's a transition between these. There's a tool break. Actually, the initial design was looking at this flow, right? And we analyzed, yeah, the journey between these tools. Here, another analysis from back then. And then we proposed actually to have more of a combination, right? So currently where we have the BTP Cockpit and the HANA Cloud Central, here this design shows that everything is tied closer together, so that when you are already in the BTP cockpit, that you have the possibility to monitor and actually also take some action on your instances, right? You could see recent hours monitoring, right? You could see out of memory events or something like this, just to shorten the flow. Unfortunately, this was technically a very high effort, yeah, but the concept and the idea you can see here. And actually, yeah, this is what I said, right? I mean, this is why I'm also here. I'm showing you these things because feedback from the community is really relevant and really important. Yeah, you see also some of unreleased features, right? I mean, I didn't notice this in particular, but I mean, the iOS app also never was released. Maybe if the community had spoken out, yeah, in such an event, maybe it would have been. So please do so. Yes, 2018 was the time when we again revisited the developer tooling. I still like how, especially one designer from my team was really having fun with this new Microsoft design language in Visual Studio Code. The designs still show that this, yeah, this is a dashboard we had planned. This is how graph looks, right? And I mean, this is just the result, but for the designer, when they're using a new design language, they have to specify like all the spacings, yeah, how big is the title, which radius will the rounded corner have, and so on. So this was a lot of work and super interesting for us and for that designer in particular, because, yeah, I don't know, the Microsoft design language and the design system is just super cool. Okay. HANA Cloud Central again. This was funny because internally, right, this was actually planned only to be a provisioning tool, yeah, an interim solution to get HANA Cloud provisioned. And now it grew into something big, yeah, something which is now actually keeping or still having or showing functionality from Database Explorer, yeah, like a full set of HANA tools. This is now HANA Cloud Central, and later I will also tell you what we plan to do with this long term. Yeah, but at the beginning it was only meant to be a provisioning tool. Yeah, just with the wizard to set up the database. And the first designs from 2019, also show that, right? So here we are in BTP Cockpit again, Cloud Platform Cockpit back then. Yeah, so you have a HANA Cloud tile here. On the right-hand side, you can see the user journey, right? You can see what this user actually is doing, what this user is, but what we assume this user thinks and feels. Also, original documents. I'm really disclosing something here. Here you can see the first version then of the provisioning wizard, which maybe some of you have used. Can you see the phone icon here, yeah, which says ask us? Didn't happen, right? Also, this very simple slider between economical and performance. Also, this is not this was, I guess, overly simplified. But what you can see is what was really relevant, and what we really wanted to do from the start was that you have cost transparency. So when you set up a database, right, it has different features, it can have different sizes, and of course, this is cost relevant. So here we introduced this on the right-hand side, the cost calculator, which also was a novelty on the BTP, right? I mean, HANA is, I think, still the only or one of the only two who is actually doing this while services are provisioned. Here, I think another difference is, yeah, the availability, of course, was represented differently. But yeah, you can see many things from this very first and very early design, I think, in the solution today. Here are different use cases, right? Something we still struggle a bit with today. So here you have a tile for combining HANA with data lake, which is easy right away. And actually here in the initial concept, it was even more easy, I think. Tying into the data lake setup, of course, also. We still do that like this today. Here we have a representation which shows the connection from a HANA to a data lake. Yeah, this again was changed and refined to have the data pyramid as a representation, not such a flow diagram here. So sometimes we also get better, of course, yeah, than the initial design, based on feedback, of course. Yeah, and then the instance is provisioned and it would be shown like this, right? So actually there would be a progress indication, how long provisioning actually takes. This was also in the first design. So full transparency about cost, duration, a nice and seamless experience. And then you could add, what is that? You could add data, right? You could add remote data sources, everything already in this flow. Yeah, so okay, this is HANA Cloud Central. HANA Cloud Central is using the Fiori design language, or as it is called now, the SAP design language, right? So the name Fiori goes away because there's supposed to be only one design language for the entire SAP, and we're using this. So did you know that we actually give feedback to SAP UI5? Yeah, the people from the SAP UI5 con. And this looks then like this, because sometimes we think and we know that our users are a bit different, of course, than the users for whom Fiori and the SAP design language actually are made for. Yeah, this is why we give feedback to the framework team, yeah, about proper file exploring, for example, yeah, which could look like this or will potentially look like this in the future, foreseeable future. Again, original file, right, which was used in a workshop with UI5 to request. Here, another thing which is evolving the file exploring into a very nice UI pattern, which is making it very easy to drill in. Yeah, so other companies have that as well. So for example, here you can see there's a table, you can select something, then Blade opens, yeah, another panel on the side, you make another selection there, you refine your search, you drill in, and then you're taken to the app, which is actually this problem-solving app then at the very end. Yeah, so that's a UI pattern, which is not yet part of UI5, but we think this actually would make your life easier, right? You could drill in faster, solve problems faster. Again, this is an ask to the community. If you want to have something like this, be vocal, right? Speak with us, participate in the UI huddles, and this will make implementation of such concept also more likely. Okay, the behavior of the responsive table also has been debated a lot. So who has problems with the table representation in our modern tooling? Doesn't have sorting and grouping and filtering on top of the header bar, but you have to go through a dialog to actually do that. Okay, I see smiling faces, so I think, yeah, you understand, you know what I mean. So my point is, yeah, we are aware, we are addressing it, but of course, in other teams, there are different priorities also, right? I mean, UI5 has to support the entire company. They have to support S4. So again, what we think we need is the HANA community also to be very vocal and to speak out. And if, yeah, such a feature is requested by several people also who have scanned the QR code, who have provided their feedback, which I hope you have in the meantime, then actually we can also address this to other teams. Good. Command palette, the way of quickly accessing features in HANA Cloud Central and also our new AI features. Yeah. So far, we are the only tool in the Fiori or SAP design language who has such a command palette. Okay. 10 minutes left. Good. Works. All right. We continuously simplify the provisioning wizard. I assume you have provisioned databases, right? So you know the wizard. It's quite lengthy. It has evolved over time. So let me take a step back. So this is the first wizard from 2019 again, right? Where it was supposed to be a provisioning tool, HANA Cloud Central. Then it was enriched with UI text and further refined. Yeah, then it was turned into full screen wizard later. So we really make it, or try to make it as simple and as convenient as possible. But this is what I meant before, right? In former times, we also had to travel to events, yeah, to get your feedback into the product. These days, data also helps us to do that. In particular, when we redesigned the provisioning wizard recently. So this is the flow of the provisioning wizard, right? You have HANA Cloud Central, you have the instance list there, you say create, and then you have 6 steps in between until you actually get your HANA. Yeah, we also know that our competition is radically shorter. Sure, yeah, it's not so easy. There also have to be conscious choices to be made, yeah, but nevertheless, this has to be simpler based on user feedback, so we were acting. Here you can see the time used for these different steps. Yeah, the red color here is the first turn. So you go through the wizard. You have step 1, right, where you just make a choice. Step 2, where you have to provide your credentials. It's just natural that this actually takes longer. And the green bars here, these are the second turn. So when you do this the second time, and then here in step step 2, you can actually see that, yeah, some users or most of the users got used to this more complex screen, right? And doesn't take so long on average. Yeah, so like this, we can conclude and potentially adjust the design or say if a design was successful or not. Do you agree? This is not the most interesting chart here. This one here is better. Here again, see the different steps of the provisioning wizard. Some of you, who is that? So some of you opened the provisioning wizard and then dropped out. Can you please explain me in the one-on-ones after this call why you do this? So you open it and then you close it again. I mean, you're supposed to be busy administrators and experts, right? Why you close something and then open something and close it again. I don't understand. Okay, but here the data shows that also 2/3 actually continue, and then only a fraction of this is dropping out. Sure, I understand people are dropping out at the beginning, then they of course also drop out after the second step. Yeah, but the amount of people dropping out, the amount of you dropping out is reduced. But then again here on step 5, again, more of you are dropping out. Well, we actually want to support you to create databases. Yeah. So please tell me, we thought when you go through step 1 and then drop out, okay, this can happen, right? But when you go through go to step 5 and then drop out, this shows some intent to actually do something here. So we had to adjust the design or make the design better for you. But please, right? I mean, this is data. Yeah. We also need direct feedback from you guys. So do not hesitate to come to the room in the first floor, provide context or after the call, right? I'm here to listen and to fully understand it because obviously you realize I don't fully understand. So, but we had to act. this is what we did, right? Here we identified the problem. Again, real mock-ups, real slides from a discussion back then. What we did is now we introduced presets. Yeah, actually here, this is still the old simplified version of these presets. Actually, they're quite smart. The new ones actually show a maximum amount, the average amount. Somehow is better. Yeah, please try it out. And also later, please tell me what you think. Yes, another design. Well, already closer to the actual implementation. So this is already implemented. I've seen this in our master branch. I think it's released. Please try it out and tell us what you think. Actually, there's a little feedback icon here on the top right, yeah, where you can also tell us what you think of such changes. This is also read and addressed, yeah, jointly, right? So developers, product managers, and UX designers try to understand this feedback and then also act. Yeah, so if you don't like such a change, this icon here on top is the place to go and to vent some steam. Yeah, I told you that I don't speak about the future today, but yeah, I have to a little bit, isn't it? So you want to hear what is coming up next. Of course, we have the HANA roadmap, but let me also say what we as a UX team plan to do next. So there are 4 things. Yeah, I showed you the dashboarding feature in the HANA Cockpit. Something like that is soon to be released, right? We call it Performance Monitor 2.0. We have feedback from ASML and other customers that they actually want to have proper monitoring features back. Recently, a German customer told me or said, ja, Herr Osterhoff, hier, ne, Ihr HANA Cloud Central, das ist ja gar nicht Central. Your HANA Cloud Central is not Central. Das ist ja voll der Käse. Yeah, that's cheese. That's nothing. So we're also addressing this, and maybe we look for ways how we can actually make a global account scope for HANA Cloud Central possible. That you see instances throughout the global account in there, that it's not only a sub account tool. Yeah, so TBD and in the works. And yeah, stay tuned. Another interesting topic is AI beyond a conversational interface. So you have seen Joule, of course. It's conversational, right? It's tied into HANA Cloud Central. You can do many things there. You can ask, you can let alerts be contextualized by it. You can ask about things in the HANA documentation. You can use it for faster navigation, many things. These days, we're exploring ways of being non-conversational, again, like a homepage. And of course, the developer tooling also is of super relevance for us. So what's next? Yeah, I already explained why I'm here, right? I'm here to speak to the community. I encourage you to give your feedback in the most direct possible channel here. For the people who have not scanned the QR code yet, who was that? Yes, okay. Okay, good. So here's the QR code again. Scan it. And what you do, right, you learned about all the blue things, yeah, all the different feedback methods which we actually have, right? So we have roundtables addressing our customers together with our PM colleagues. We have usability events, right, where we do usability testing. We track usage of our tools and try to draw the right conclusions from that. Also give us feedback about this one, please. Yeah, we do user research, and of course, there's also discourse in our database organization. But what I'm really interested in now is your feedback. Please scan again and provide it, and then also step by on the first floor where we can discuss such things in detail. Yeah, this is the LinkedIn post again. And yeah, can't wait to read your feedback there and to hear it in detail on the first floor. This is where you should go. It's really precise. And yeah, that was it. A big thank you to you as an audience, yeah, for making this lovely picture possible. Forgive me, but I have to post this on LinkedIn, of course. Yeah. And a big thank you to the people who have made this presentation possible. As you have seen, this is not a typical UX presentation, but actually the slides are not polished. They are original artifacts from the discussions here within SAP. A big thank you to the people listed here below for providing me with these and actually giving you also the possibility to have some insights into how we work and how we try to address your feedback and to make your lives easier. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic. Thank you, Johannes. And as always, we have a bit of time remaining for questions that might be open here in the room. And Johannes was mentioning use the most direct means to provide feedback. So I have one means here. I can throw it into your direction if you want to share something with him about what needs to be improved urgently.
Do not hesitate. Once I didn't catch this cube when I was trying to ask something. Not as embarrassing as you think.
No, it is not. Not at all. So anyone interested in raising a question or providing feedback? Yeah, there we go. Right.
Hi. Maciej Kadziolka, COE HANA here in St. Leon Road, Road 4. The thing is, HANA Studio is still the most used tool for the administrators and DB operators. And why? Why the huge discrepancy between the major functionalities in HANA Studio and HANA Cockpit? I can give you a lot of direct examples. Don't want to dive into deep here right now, but again, HANA Studio is still to be there until 2040, if I'm not mistaken, on the major roadmap and platform strategy. And we have major flows. So why? I know it's propagated as being obsoleted. We as supporters and customers should be on the journey to HANA Cockpit. But HANA Cockpit lacks some functionality, and then we have huge inconsistencies between both tools. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it depends also in which stage of your cloud transformation journey you are, right? Because the Studio is the on-premise tool. Cockpit, of course, yeah, also could be used. But when I was speaking with somebody else before the talk, yeah, he said he wanted to use all these new tools, right? But the company is just not yet transitioning to the cloud fast enough. Sure, as I said, right? I mean, the HANA Studio is heavily research-based, right? It's refined by usability testing. It's a good tool, but yeah, once you proceed with your cloud transformation journey, you will realize that there's even better tools.
Okay. Maybe some room for further in-depth feedback then upstairs as well. So I think Johannes will be glad about that. Any other question? Anyone else who would like to voice some feedback or share something with Johannes? If that's not the case, then again, big thank you to you, Johannes, for being here.
Thomas. Thanks for having me. See you in the on the first floor.
Yes, and definitely thank you for supporting upstairs with the UI huddle. We will continue at 11:45 with Matthias talking about a day in the life of a HANA administrator. So looking forward to that. Thanks, everyone.